Hey guys, it's Ollie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I will be going through 5 myths and legends of snails throughout history. A couple of them are like stories, a couple of them are just like little blurbs of what different cultures believed. Snails have always been very prominent throughout cultures, so it's kind of interesting to learn about it, and I personally love myths and legends, so I figured I'd share these with you. I'm starting with snails because you guys really seem to like my snail content, but let me know if you want this to be like a series and I can do it with just different species. Snails are in a lot of creation stories and are usually representative of cycles and life and fertility. So I am going to leave my favorite legend for last. It's a little bit longer, which is kind of why I'm leaving it. And if there is a particular story that you want to reflect on or look for, there is going to be a table of contents down below in the description. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 1, Japan. So in ancient Japan, snails were actually considered the most fertile of all animals, and they also believed that snails were water gods. In Japan, they symbolized tolerance and perseverance, which I just think is really cool. Number 2, the Mayans. The Mayan earth god Puatan. I may have mispronounced that. I very likely mispronounced that. I've only ever read it. I've never had to say it out loud. But this earth god emerges from a spiraled shell, which we believe was probably a snail shell. And in Mayan mythology, snails were heavily associated with sexuality and sexual desires. I think that there are more stories, and you can look up the earth god, but that's all I really have to say. I'm trying to keep this a bit short. But number 3, the Aztecs. Ancient Aztecs saw the snail as a sacred being and believed that their shell represented the cycle of life. To the Aztecs, the snail was a symbol of time, transition, and fertility. The Aztecs also believed that the moon god was a snail, and that the spiral of the snail represented the moon's cycles. Number 4, the Greeks. So the ancient Greeks believed that the snail represented fertility and fruition of hard work. So a bit of a side note, but the Greeks also believed that the snail climbing up the stem of their crops represented that it was harvest time. Alright, so number 5 is actually like my absolute favorite story. I really enjoy this story. It's a bit longer, it takes a bit more to explain a bit, but that's kind of why I put it at the end. So this one is actually a Navajo tale. So basically, they believed that long ago there was a mighty flood. So the people left their world, which is called the 4th world or the underworld, and they came up to the 5th world, or just our world, the world we have today. They found themselves on a shore of a great ocean. They decided to split into different groups and go try to find homes. After 4 days, they returned to that same spot and realized that they had no fresh water to drink. So then, someone called First Woman declared that someone was going to have to go back to the underworld to try to get some fresh drinking water for everybody. She had sent several strong animals, but none of them succeeded to come back with fresh water. They couldn't find it, or they just didn't make it. Then a thin little girl that was called Snail Girl volunteered to go, and no one believed that she could do it. She was a very slow girl. But First Woman, not really having many other options, decided, okay, you can go. She tied a bottle to the girl's back and sent her on her way. Very slowly but surely, she did make her way into the 4th world, and she did find the water. So she filled up her bottle and she started coming home. Now when Snail Girl was carrying this water back home, it did open and spill, leaving a silvery trail. This spill ended up creating a large river, and then no one really had to worry about the water anymore because now there was this river. Snail Girl came back and was honored, and ever since then to the Navajo people, snails represented fresh water, and the trail left behind them were reminders to the people of how we got our rivers. Alright guys, so that was pretty much all I have for you today. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this kind of video. I know it's a little different, but it might become a series, I'm not sure. I really enjoyed this, actually. This was very fun to make. And let me know if you have any other ideas for future videos as well. Hit the like button for the algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this kind of content or any other animal content, really. I post every single Friday at 3 p.m. And as always, follow me over on Instagram. The link will be down in the description below. I also have an art account now if you would like to go commission me. The commissions will be open again soon. Link for that will also be down in the description below. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye!